He worked some years in ECO, an important funded agency from RDT and AF. In addition to funding usual programs from 1979, he was also instrumental in convincing ECO to fund for purchase of AF main campus in 1989. After learning ECO, he started his own organization called Contest Intercooperation, a professional support organization to NGOs in Asia, Africa and South America. He has written a number of books related to people's development, human resource development and organizational development. Malla Reddy uncle and Doreen auntie and Fons, his wife Karin, have been great friends for decades. He traveled all the way from the Netherlands to Anantapur to participate in this program. Now I invite him to give his reflections on Mr. Malla Reddy.
Good afternoon, and thank you, Vijwana. I'll take the liberty to speak about three concepts this afternoon, and I'll try to be brief. The first is gratitude. That's the first concept I will touch upon. The second one is community of praxis. And the third one is the balancing act. These are the three subjects I will deal with in the next 6 minutes. But before doing so, and while introducing the first issue about gratitude, special words of thanks to Mrs. Velden. I came here as a young, inexperienced, innocent, enthusiastic, but not so wise young man in 1976. And I'm very grateful that you and late Father Ferrer created a space to learn, to listen, and to grow further. So I'm grateful for that, and that should be acknowledged. And I'm very excited to see you again today, together with your son Mansour. Secondly, I would like to express my gratitude to Doreen and Malla for inviting me to come to this special event and to creating space. As the moderator has said, we know each other already for quite some time. We have traveled a long journey together. And I would like to congratulate both of you for working together as not only as a couple, but also as development practitioners for the last 50 years. I think it's very remarkable. It's a very long journey. And in my view, how I know you, your service to poor and marginalized communities has been very remarkable. And as I learned yesterday from the visit to some places where I went for the first time since many years, your contribution, your wisdom, your guidance and support is, of course, appreciated tremendously. So that is what I wanted to say about gratitude. It's a personal gratitude, but as far as I understand, also from many other people, not only from the community side, but also from the international community with whom we work. Now I come to the second issue. That is the issue of what I call, I'm a bit of a student of the learning organization. And in the learning organization, the community of praxis is a very important concept. And I must say that I admire the ability of both of you to facilitate community of praxis. You see, a person in Africa, they speak about Ubuntu. Here I would say a person is not an island. A person is not an island. And you as a family, with Bharat and with Sandhya and the kids, but also far beyond that, both of you have in your DNA that you are people who support community of praxis. And the manifestations of that was that Malla initiated the voluntary action network in Anandapur district, but especially, Monsieur referred to that, also the close collaboration with Mrs. Ferrer, Father Ferrer, their children, the colleagues of RDT. I consider that to be a very important, very active, very productive community of praxis. And also with people like Peter and many other friends from the international community, you have always fostered a community of practice in which we work together globally on as much as possible on an equal footing. So that's the second issue I would like to thank you for, and which contributions should be appreciated. Now, Doreen, with due respect, I'll focus a bit more on Malla, because I wanted to say a few special things about Malla, with whom I had a slightly longer professional collaboration than with you. We worked together also, among others, in the workshop about social business and leadership, but I hope you will understand why I'm doing that. My last point is it's about the act of balancing. You see, complex situations, and I was telling Malla the other day, when I went as a kid to Anandapur district in 1976, I first went to Hyderabad to the Department of Publications, and I bought a copy of the District Gazetteer. And from the District Gazetteer, I knew I was going to a very complex place, a complex district. And complex problems require quite often, very unfortunately, complex solutions. And that is also the case in the drought-prone area of Anandapur district. And that requires an agility to balance and the art of balancing. And I must honestly say I have traveled a bit the world, but I have not come across many people who have the skill to do that balancing act so skillfully and so experienced and in such a mature manner as Malla Reddy. And I would like to give you a few examples, but you can give him a big hand, of course. Malla, I give you a few examples of that balancing act. The first is, of course, Malla is a well-educated person. All of us know that. He has done an MBA, his PhD, and at the same time, he has a huge and vast practical experience. So balancing theory and praxis is an art. That can only be done by what I call pracademics. And Malla has the ability to combine theory and praxis. 2 minutes, I'll finish in 2 minutes, definitely. My second example is RDT and Accion, Fraterna, and many other development organizations work in a multi-stakeholder context. Stakeholders from civil society, state, corporate sector, international community, and all of us who have seen Malla operating in those complex contexts, we know that he's a proven expert in the balancing act of managing multi-stakeholder situations. I'll give you 2 more examples. The third one is Malla is an expert in balancing between reflection and action. I mean, I learned from your PME colleague yesterday that you say it's not only about proving but also improving. That sums it up. If you learn, the learnings need to be applied. And I've come across many cases with you where you managed to do that. The last one, balancing acts, which I want to mention is, in the development discourse nowadays, we make a distinction between a more technocratic approach and a more what is called political economic approach. And that debate has also been going on for a long time in Andhra Pradesh, where at a particular point of time there was a lot of emphasis on awareness building, community organizing, Sangam building and all this and that. while a more technical approach was not being appreciated as much as it might have been necessary. Now, Malla has always stayed away from that debate in an ideological sense, and he has managed to combine the best of two worlds. The best of two worlds. I find that very remarkable. I find that a big achievement, of which I feel we, as friends and colleagues who have the privilege of working with you, can be very proud. I'll stop here, because these personality traits, in combination with what I said earlier, is, in my view, a unique contribution to the development sector at large. Thank you so much.
ఏమంటున్నారంటే నెదర్లాండ్స్ అనే ఒక దేశం నుంచి వచ్చారు ఆయన. అక్కడ కోఆపరేటివ్ సంస్థలు చాలా బ్రహ్మాండంగా పనిచేస్తాయి. జర్మనీ అండ్ నెదర్లాండ్స్ రెండు దేశాల్లో ఈ కోఆపరేటివ్ సంస్థలు, మన సంఘాలు సమాఖ్యలు ఉన్నాయి కదా, అలాంటి సంస్థలు బాగా పనిచేస్తాయి. సో మొట్టమొదటి విషయము తను చెప్పింది గ్రాటిట్యూడ్, దాన్ని మనం తెలుగులో కృతజ్ఞత. సో ఈ కృతజ్ఞత అనేది బాగా మల్లారెడ్డి గారు ప్రదర్శిస్తారు. ఒక విధంగా ఫాన్స్ కూడా ఆయన కృతజ్ఞత తెలియజేస్తున్నారు. సో అంటే ఈ 50 ఏళ్ల ప్రయాణంలో మల్లారెడ్డి గారు ఈ కృతజ్ఞతను ఇచ్చుకోవడం, పుచ్చుకోవడం అనేది బ్రహ్మాండంగా చేశారు. రెండవది కమ్యూనిటీ ఆఫ్ ప్రాక్టీస్, అంటే మనము ఏదైనా చేయడము, దాని గురించి అవగాహన చేసుకోవడము, మళ్ళీ కార్యక్రమం, దాన్ని మనం యాక్షన్ రిఫ్లెక్షన్ అని కూడా అంటాము.